Boom, coming in hot, Chinch, day after Memorial Day weekend, brother. How we doing?
Doing good, man. It's almost like I'm too tired from relaxing all weekend. I had trouble getting up this morning. I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit in the yard all day. But
dude, did you? I'm sure you enjoyed your pool, brother. You sent me a couple nice pictures of you out there.
Yeah.
You had your niece in town.
Had the niece in town, and I stayed over a couple days, which was a lot, but we love it. But dude, I can't feel my legs, man. Lifting up children is like the hardest thing in the world because they're like dead weight, man. 3.5 years old, dead weight, dude. All day.
Dude, that's how my dad started lifting weights, because when my son Andrew was born, they came down to Florida when we lived there. They come down for a couple weeks, and my dad was holding Andrew. He's like about 3 to 5 minutes into it, I had to put him down, and it bothered him so bad. He's like, I got to start lifting. That's the reason he started lifting weights, because it
makes sense, dude.
Because picking up kids is a lot.
Yeah, dude, my legs feel like tree trunks today. Like I can barely even lift them up the stairs. So, I gotta get in better shape. Anyway, what'd you do? You were running around a lot of Kent State action.
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, I was at Kent State for the weekend. Tough loss. They lost to Ball State on a grand slam. Give Ball State some credit for how they came. Kent State came back from down 8-2, made it 9-8. 2 strikes, 2 outs in the ninth, dude. Double by Ball State, walk, grand slam. They lost 12-9. It was heartbreaking. This game will rip you out. And I do think they got screwed in the tournament. They should have got an at-large bid. Their RPI was 46, and they didn't end up getting in. They were like one of the first teams out, like on the bubble. So what a bummer. Jeff Duncan, great coach, great program at Kent State. Jake had a great year with all those guys. Longwell. You're gonna see Joe Whitman, left-hander, going to be a top pick in the draft this year. So look for that out of Kent State. So it was pretty cool, dude. Really quick, before we get talking baseball, I'm pulling up to that game, dude. I'm going to be there right on time. It's about 12:30. And when you pull into Kent State, bro, it's like some back roads to get there. It's not like right off the highway. You got to get off the highway, then you come out these back roads. Some of the back roads of Kent, Ohio, dude. I'm driving up, and you know that whole thing that happened last week on I-80, that lady's running out. I grabbed the dog, saved her. Well, so, dude, I swear to God, I can't make this stuff up. I'm driving on this back road, and as I'm passing, I'm just driving. I don't even see anything. All of a sudden, this girl comes out of a ditch, bloody. What? Face, arms, legs, bloody, dude. She's like, help. I'm like, what? So, dude, I pull my car over, bam, hit the hazards, come back. I'm like, what happened? She's like, this car was coming right at me, so I swerved right, lost control of the car. My car's in a ditch. Can you help me, find my phone? I'm like, oh, my God, it's incredible, dude. So my adrenaline's going big time, dude. Again. So I jump in the car. I'm looking for the phone. Yeah, again, I can't find the phone, but the windows are blown out. The car's in an embankment, dude. Jeez, incredible. So I had a water jug in my car for whatever reason, and I was like, hang on here. Dude, like I said, it's bloody everywhere. So I'm take the water jug, I clean her hands off, her face, legs. This truck comes by, the pickup truck. He's like, you guys need help? I'm like, yeah, we need some help. So the guy comes up, and I was like, do you want me to call your parents? She's like, no, don't call my parents. Then I'm like, I need to call the cops. She's like, don't call the cops. What? Can you just, so I'm like, okay, something's not right here. I was like, oh, this is getting a little dicey. I don't know. She's a young girl. But then the guy was like, called AAA. And like I said, I was late for the MAC championship, but which was fine because I had helped this girl. But, I pull away, all is good. But, dude, I just couldn't believe it. Like, I-80 incident, 4 days later, I got a girl coming out. Dude, that's when ridiculous. You see a girl coming out of a ditch, bloody, going like this, like, what?
It's like a Michael Myers movie, dude. What the hell?
It's incredible.
Why does this keep happening to you? Why does this keep happening?
I don't know, man. Maybe I was that girl's angel or something. I don't know. Incredible.
Good grief, dude. Incredible. Something happened over
What about you, bro? What about you?
I'm bummed out, dude. So for the past few years, Jess is terrified of sharks, right? And I used to love to go surfing and live on Long Island. There's beautiful beaches, beautiful surf.
Yeah.
And she's like, you can't do that. There's too many sharks out there. We watch Shark Week. We think there's an actual thing that says that a few years ago, the great whites migrated up like past Montauk on Long Island and had their babies there. And now there's all these shark sightings all over freaking Long Island and Jersey, like the Jersey Shore. And so she's like, you see all the time. Now here comes the worst part. Not really for us, but I'm making it personal. So over the weekend, dude, this poor girl was snorkeling in Turks and Caicos, and a shark bit her leg off. Now, here's the selfishness of this. I feel horrible for the girl, but Dude, we are pretty sure it's the same charter that me and Jess went snorkeling on our honeymoon. And it's definitely in the exact same location. And we had these two amazing dudes. There was the captain of the ship, and there was this other dude didn't even put a snorkel on, no gear, and was like underwater. He was like a fish. Like, I swear he had gills. And me and him, he took me down into like the stuff, and I was having a tough time. It's not like an easy snorkel down there. Jess got out after a little while, and she's like, "Are you sure there's no sharks in here?" And the guy goes, "Don't even say it. We haven't had a shark attack here in 65 years. You'll never see a shark in these waters." And so now Jess is like, "I told you. I told you." And so now even if we ever go to Turks and Caicos again, I can't go in the water, man.
I love Jess, dude. That's so good. That's so good. I told you, Chich, we ain't doing that ever again.
But here's one cool thing. There's this company, they've been working on this for like 5-6 years, and they finally, I think, got their financing. Out on Long Island in Shirley, this guy bought this entire compound, and he's making a man-made surf beach, like the way people go and join like golf country clubs. It's basically a surfing club with man-made waves, like some of like the greatest dudes, surfers in the world are like part of this, and they all bought into it. And it's a certain type of system that gives like the perfect wave. Hopefully, in a year or two, that's where I go.
Okay, now I got a quick story because we weren't going here, but I got a quick story, dude. Kelly, it has to be Kelly Slater. No, because Kelly Slater already has one. I don't know exactly what it is, but Ed Vedder goes to Slater. Dude, you kidding me? Ed's a big surfer. He goes to Slater's machine, dude. First off, have you ever seen it, bro?
I have.
It looks like a freaking locomotive.
Yep.
Because it makes the barrel waves.
Yeah, it's a perfect barrel for like a quarter of a mile. I've seen it.
Ed has sent me some videos of him in a barrel just barreling down. We'll ask him when we get him on the podcast. Yeah. He's just barreling down these waves, dude. But he loves this place. It's like his refuge going to Slater's place. It's incredible.
Dude, I know. I hope this comes up soon, and I hope it's not exorbitantly expensive, but I'm assuming it's going to be. If we start making money on a mayor's office, maybe I can get a
one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days I can get like a day rate or something for a couple days one summer. Anyway. So that's where we're at. There will be no surfing for me this summer. That's a fact. That's but that's all right.
Dude, I'll tell you what. Here's a segue for you. I know one guy that was surfing walls yesterday.
Nice.
Aaron Judge, dude, was surfing walls.
Bro, he was like 4 feet above the wall when he caught that ball. He is like an anomaly. He is a special, different type player than most guys you see out there. Oh, by the way, he had 2 homers too. He's got 17. Unbelievable.
Yeah. You know what, dude? I think the thing I love about Judge is, he's a great guy, first off, and the Yankees knew it. But there's nothing better when someone gets that contract and they keep living up to who they are. Like, no, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. And then you're looking at Judge hitting 302, 17 bombs, playing unbelievable defense. He is worth it in this day and age. He's, one of the best players in baseball, and he's proven it.
Yep, he's carrying them for the most part. I mean, they got a lot of contributions. Rizzo's playing great, but like without Judge, he's a straw that stirs the drink, as they used to say about Reggie back in the day. But we were looking. Here's the other thing that makes him super special as compared to the other guys. We're looking at the home run leaders in all of Major League Baseball. Pete Alonso has established himself as right now the home run guy in the NL. Period. I'd say him and Judge are the top 2 guys. He's got 20. Right. So then we got Judge, Muncy, Matt Olson, and Jorge Soler all have 17. The only difference is what makes Judge at that extra special next MVP type level is that he's hitting 302 with a 408 on base. Nobody else on this list is hitting higher than 254.
What's Muncy hitting? He's hitting like 2 bills, right?
Muncy's got that old school he's got like Dan Pasqua stats. He's hitting 208 with 17 homers and 38 ribbies. Dude,
it's just so funny how how baseball's evolved over the last 15 years. Like I said, I'm gonna say it because it's just when I was playing. I wasn't that long ago. I think my last year was 2008, which is 15 years ago. Dude, if you were hitting 240, you were in the minors.
Yeah.
Or you didn't have a chance to make these big league stats. Yeah, you're hitting 200. Like you're putting those home runs in AAA. You're not like, hey, this guy's got a great OPS and he's in 2 bills with 15 homers.
No.
Like
the only guy who's in the big leagues in that situation is like a Matt Stairs who's getting 1 pinch hit at bat every two games. You're not you're not an everyday starter at 208.
No, exactly.
There's no way. You couldn't.
Exactly. No, there's no chance. You're not up there. Yeah, like I said, the guy I compare is Mike Hessman. Mike Hessman would hit 240 in AAA, 230 in AAA or the big leagues, and he hit 40 jacks a year. Mike Hessman will be worth $200 million now. Mike Hessman was a AAA player because he couldn't hit over 230, but he hit 40. He would have hit 30 in the big leagues, but you know what I mean? It's like you don't get a chance when you're hitting 220.
Well, now you do.
Now you do. Now you're making 15, 20 mil.
Yeah, let's do this. I'm going to go down to the top. I'll go as far as this list goes, it goes down to guys tied for 18th on a home run list. 1, 2, 3 guys hitting 300 or better who have 11 or more home runs. Just 3.
Right. Who are they?
Josh Lowe is hitting 301.
Well, that guy's raking.
He is raking. Dude, Bo Bichette, bro.
Dude, Bo
Bichette's hitting 338 with 11.
Is he really? Dude, hello.
Dude, I didn't realize.
Who do you sign long term as your Mark Shapiro now? Bo Bichette or Vlad Jr.?
Oh, that's a really tough question.
Wow.
You can't.
Bo Bichette or Vlad Jr. I mean, this is a good rabbit hole to go down because you got a future shortstop. You know that obviously Bo thinks he's a shortstop. You know, I think maybe people think he might be a second baseman, but I think he's a shortstop. You're hitting you're going to hit over 300 because you saw him last year, Change. One of the best players in the game. He's figuring out something. This kid's a young kid.
Yes.
You don't just figure out the big leagues, but when you do, the elite hitters go to another level. Bo Bichette, dude, the way he commands right center, to me, I'm like, those are the elite players. 11 bombs, 338, and you know that the body's going to age well because he works hard. His dad, look at Dante. His dad's 50-some years old, probably the best shape of any human alive. He's jacked. He takes care of himself. Well, Bo's going to always take care of himself. I think one thing with Vlad Jr., when you look at, hey, top to bottom, this guy's impressive, but he does get hurt. He does get banged up. And you have to look and say, is his commitment is he going to be fully committed to being the best version of himself? If you're going to give this guy you give these players $300 million, you're basically giving them part of the franchise.
Right.
You're giving them stake in the company.
Right.
So who are you willing to give a stake in the company to long term? That's a big question. These guys are two of the most elite players in the game, Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette. But who would you give the long term contract to?
Wow, that is a very, very difficult question. I mean, they're both worth it. I think I was gonna say statistically, like maybe higher ceiling for how great Vlad could be, but I would lean towards consistency with Bichette's bat. He just seems like a more streamlined built, I feel like he's a little more naturally lean and long,
right?
Then Vladdy would. But on the flip side, like the other dude's got some of the greatest skill set that there is in the game. I don't know.
That's what I mean.
That's a great question. I don't know.
Vlad Jr. You look at Vlad Jr. You go, wow, that's special.
Yeah.
And you look at Bo and you say the same thing.
Yeah.
Listen, man, they're both big league pedigree. I'm serious by saying that. They're mentally, they grew up in the game.
Right.
So they're in the big leagues. That's the consistency they're able to do. I think that helps them a lot, having that kind of big league pedigree with their fathers. Yeah. So I think both of these guys are gonna age really well. And like I said, can you pay both of them is the question.
Well, you got to look. I guess what the genius Mr. Shapiro should be looking at is you got to keep one eye on the Padres and what they've tried to do and what they're doing, because they got a lot of guys making a lot of money right now. And how sustainable is that? And if you don't win a championship, are you taking a loss? How are you getting the money back on your investment? I almost wonder, can you sign them both and just build around two guys like that? I mean, I don't know. The Red Sox kind of did that with Manny and Poppy for a little while. But
no, not at this money, bro. Look at the Angels. The Angels are strapped because of what they gave Rendon.
That's a good point.
So you talk about Trout. Hey, can they sign Ohtani? The reason they're even thinking they can't sign Ohtani is because they gave Rendon $240 million. You gave Trout $400 million, and now you had $1 billion in three players. They're not winning with three guys. Right. They're not winning with that equation right now. You're not winning with Ohtani, Rendon, and Trout at $240, $300 million each. You're gonna have to pay Ohtani $500, $600 million. So the question is, you really really got to be careful how many guys you're locking into these $300 million deals. Because at the end of the day, Chinch, you know and I know, you win with starting pitching.
True.
So if you lock up these position players at such a high ceiling, thinking you can't go get somebody with close to the production, you're never going to get the starting pitching you need. You're never going to win in this game.
Yeah, and I still don't know. I've been trying to read up about this a little more, but like, I don't know how you get your money back on an investment paying somebody that much money. I just don't understand. I don't conceptually understand it. I guess I gotta start watching Billions and stuff like that a little more. Yeah. But like how do you make back $500 million? Like, is Ohtani gonna get you your money back if you sign him to a $500 million deal? He might be the only guy.
He might be the one guy. I mean, he's such a unicorn, and internationally, bro, he's gonna get your money back. I mean, he's become an international figure where in Japan and everywhere else, they're like, this guy's incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so he brings you back such big time value. And dude, at the end of the day, I think the game's in a healthy place as far as revenue goes and everything.
That's true. You give those guys, people are going to have to start giving those, what do you call it? Who's the guy the Mets pay every year? Bobby Bonilla contracts, man, where they're paying you until you're 78 years old, $1 million bucks.
Dude, Griffey has one of those contracts too. Griff's getting like, I think, $1.5 million a year still from the Reds. No one talks about that, but
wow,
he's writing Bobby Bowes. He must have been taking a book out of Bobby Bowes' page.
Dude, that is the greatest thing. That is the greatest thing that Bobby Bowes. Cliff Floyd was getting paid by the Mets up until like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
The Mets were a little different, though. They had a little Bernie Madoff action going on.
Yeah, I love it until Madoff freaking pretty much dragged everyone through the mud.
Don't get Madoff, everybody. That's a big deal. Don't ever get Madoff.
Oh, my God. Dude, how about we were going to talk about Marcus Stroman?
Yes, dude.
Talk to me. What do you think about him?
Dude, it's interesting. Did you see him and the Mets got into it last week? He did one of those, like, chest pumping, fired up after a strikeout. And some anonymous member, this is kind of dumb. I don't know who got this quote, but it was kind of annoying that they did. I didn't like the way this was handled by the media, but there's an anonymous quote from a Mets player basically saying, like, that's punk, don't do that, whatever. They asked Buck Showalter about it too, and he was like, well, that's what you get from him, right? That's his emotion. So we got to be better and beat him, and don't let him do that to you, which I loved. I loved Buck's point there. That being said, dude, Stroman has only had one clunker of a game. Every other game this year so far, he's pitched at least 5 innings, and he's pitched at least 6 innings in all the other ones. And then, dude, over the weekend, he almost threw a no-hitter. And
dude, he threw a one against the Rays.
Against the Rays.
Against the Rays.
Yes, he is locked in. By the way, Long Island zone. By the way, also maybe an inch taller than me, dude. Maybe.
Oh, dude.
I've stood next to that man.
He's got that chip on his shoulder, which I love, dude.
He's got that chip on his shoulder. There's that. And also, but here's the question. And you tell me, do players care about this or not? I would assume that you don't because you understand the business. But he's chirping already like, I want an extension. I want an extension now. I want an extension now. Dude, we just got past Memorial Day. Does that annoy you if you're a player? Or do you guys, like, wash that out of your heads unless you're... Or does it piss you off? You're like, hey, let's fight. Let your agent do that. Stop chirping. Let's be good here. How's that work? In a clubhouse? Listen,
Stroman's his own man. He always, you know what you get from Stro. You know what I mean? As far as what he brings to the table, he's going to be vocal. He's going to be passionate. And, you know, I think he knows his times now. He's 32 years old. If he's going to get a deal, it's going to be right now. He's pitching the best that he's ever pitched in his career right now. And, you know, I think that's what he's looking at, you know, at the end of the day. So, no, I think you can respect Marcus Stroman saying, hey, listen, man, I'm doing everything you asked me to do. I've had a lot of consistent years, you know, especially in the recent consistent years, you know, last few years, 2023, he's got a 2.59 now. 2022, it had 3.5. 2021 had a 3.0, 3.02. 2019, 3.22. Like 2017, 3.09. He's been pretty consistent, dude.
Yes.
So I can see why he wants a long-term deal.
Also not on the back of a baseball card is, like, he is not afraid of any spotlight, any game. He should, you know, he hasn't been on too many great teams, but when he was in the WBC, he was locked in, had a great WBC the time before that. You know, you pitch in New York for the Mets and the fans like you, that's good, you know. So he's got the big game. Plus, he's a Long Island guy, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, dude. The first time I met him, dude, my Aunt Peggy, who passed away a few years ago, rip Aunt Peg, but she was out. I don't know if I think she taught in Sayville. I'm not sure, but first time I met Stroman, I think my Aunt Peggy taught his sister. So he's like, hey, man, your aunt taught my sister.
That's
I'm
crazy.
like, let's go.
That's crazy. Yeah, he went to Patchogue, Medford. That's a good.
Patchogue, okay.
That's
there
a
you
nice,
go. There you
that's
go.
a legit kind of. Well, he went to Ward Melville too. It's interesting. Or he played against him and Steven Matz came up together. That was a big thing on Long Island back then, and everybody was like, you think Steven Matz is built? He's built like
like a pitcher.
Yeah, he's built like John Smoltz. Yeah. Everybody thought he was going to be the guy, and I used to battle in high school, and it'd be like back page articles in some of these New York papers, even with the Mets and Yankees here. And Matz was supposed to be the guy, and I don't think there's any question that Stroman has had a better career than Steven Matz. Matz never really figured it out.
Definitely better. And I also think, like you said, Stroman not being the prototypical pitcher, you think he's more like a second baseman, shortstop. I think that chip on his shoulder, this game's so mental, dude. If you don't have a little bit of that grit, that chip on your shoulder, hey, man, I was telling my son today, I said, listen, the bottom line is the best players in baseball, they fail the best. Right? They fail the best. When the failure comes and the tough times come, they say, bring it on. They keep going. They keep moving, right? And so when I look at Stroman, I go, this guy fails better than other people. When he has a bad start, he comes back, I'm going to coming to get somebody. So that's a huge mentality, dude. And I look at the career he's had, hey, man, he keeps coming for you.
Yeah, he really does. He really does. I would take him in probably a lot of guys. We should take a look at his draft class. I bet he's towards the top of career wins and all that stuff. Yeah. That's the other thing, like what you just said. John Smoltz said it on our air. I'll never forget him saying this. He goes, nobody remembers Michael Jordan for how many shots he missed.
Right.
They remember him for how many he took and made, because he would always want the ball in a big spot. That's what Stroman seems like. So
no fear, man.
Good for him, man. And you're in a contract here. You want to show it off? He's showing it off, dude.
Let's go.
He's showing it off. I like that.
I agree.
Oh, there's another guy that you were very excited about, who you know pretty well, Royce Lewis, huh?
Oh, dude, Royce Lewis. Listen, Royce Lewis blew out a second ACL last year, right before the season started. This kid, I've got to know this kid a little bit. I coached him at the Under Armour Futures game, and even before him was first pick overall a few years back with the Twins. What a great kid, dude! To see him come back, man, and like even Rocco Baldelli talks about, this kid's the most optimistic, positive kid ever, dude. Yesterday, 3-run bomb, and then 5-4, 2 outs, 2 strikes in the ninth. Lines one to center field, ties the game with the Twins. They go on to beat the Astros, holding off that Altuve grand slam that he hit. So to see Royce Lewis back, dude. This is a guy that's an absolute stud. First pick overall a few years ago. If he's healthy, the Twins just got a lot better, bro.
Yeah. Every once in a while, there's a year that a team has that's kind of like that magical team. I remember that 97 Cleveland Indians team when Sandy Alomar was like...
I was on it.
Oh, that's right. You were technically. But dude, remember Alomar had one of the greatest seasons ever by a catcher that year? And he was like All-Star Game MVP, ALCS MVP, World Series. Like it would have probably been a World Series MVP. But dude, Minnesota is having one of those years. I mean, they're 4-6 in their last 10, but they're atop that division. And here's where you start seeing like funky things happen to teams. Like when you look back at like their World Series reel that you get to watch after the season. Rocco Baldelli's wife just announced they're having twins, dude. The Twins manager is having twins. I was like, this is crazy.
That's so great, dude.
How cool is that? That's so funny.
So great. So great.
One last feel-good story. You mentioned the Futures game. I just saw this today. Guess who was announced as the 2 managers?
Who?
Let's have you guess. The NL team and the AL team, both going to be managed by former Mariners. I would say
Craig Griffey Jr.
No.
Edgar Martinez.
No.
Jay Buhner.
No.
Ichiro.
No. Oh boy, you're gonna get in trouble for one of these.
Oh my God. When did they play? Brett Boone. Brett Boone.
Nope. One was pretty much like right. One was maybe a little younger than you. Had a really good career. Didn't just play for the Mariners. Played for a couple teams in huge spots. You might not get this one because he's not like, I don't think of him as like
Mike Cameron.
Nope.
Tell me.
Raul Ibanez.
Okay, love Raul.
The other guy, I'm gonna have you keep guessing because you're like 9.
Dan Wilson.
No, now you're like 10 or 11 deep, and you haven't mentioned this one person's name. If I said Seattle Mariners in the 80s, they were like
in the 80s.
Yeah, they were like 3. guys on those
Oh,
teams.
Harold.
Yes. Harold's managing the Futures.
Good for him, dude. That's awesome.
Dude, I don't even think he's in a Ring of Honor there, which is ridiculous. And in
He's
the
not,
80s,
that's ridiculous.
he
dude.
was
He's
like,
the best.
it was
He
him
was
and
the great
Langston.
player.
When you were, he was
Yeah.
a great player. He still is a great player. You ever see him throw a ball?
Three-time All-Star. Yeah, dude. He has a new hip. He can still fly.
It's unbelievable. Anyway, so we're happy for him.
Yeah. All
right, dude.
Awesome,
we're
brother.
back. All right, I feel like I'm getting my legs back under.
We're back and rolling, dude. We're back and rolling, and got some good stuff. And you know, no more sharks and women coming out of trenches.
I agree.
It's incredible.
I agree.
All right, brother. Hey, thanks to everybody out there listening. Appreciate it. Love you, buddy. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good.